When it comes to moving well and improving your brain, one of the most powerful things you can do is slow down. My name is Brian. I've been in the health and wellness world now for close to 20 years, and I've been coaching pro-metabolic health for nearly 10. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite tools for improving how your brain responds to movement and exercise. When it comes to traditional training models, you'll see a lot of people subscribe to the weight room model of training. So if you like weight room stuff, cool. I love weight room stuff. I love barbells. I love kettlebells. I love dumbbells. I love machines. I love it all. Finding something that works for you is the most important piece. So you can apply everything we're going to talk about to anything else that you might be doing or enjoy, whether it's dance, martial arts, whatever. So don't think that what we're about to say is only for weight room stuff. Okay? That disclaimer out of the way, one of the things that people will often talk about in the weight room is tempo, your set and rep speed. So you'll oftentimes hear things like 1 count up, 1 count down, or 3 up, pause, 3 down, pause. You'll have all sorts of combinations of different times that people will start to prescribe for certain movements. That has its place, and each one of those different tempos changes a little bit of the motor control required to create the movement that you're trying to create. When it comes to your brain is always trying to figure out where the body is and what it's trying to do. Okay, so if I put my hand out here and I move my hand, open and close, and you can do this too at home, this signal is actually coming from my right cortex. My right cortex is sending a signal to my left side of my body to open and close my hand. And then the signals that come from the receptors in my hand, the receptors that measure what the tissue is doing, the receptors that measure what the joints are doing, what the muscles are doing, all of that then travels up the peripheral nerves, into the spinal cord, up to the brain, and tells the brain what is happening in that hand. So when it comes to movement and motor control, sometimes we want to change up the speed at which we move. Because every time we change the speed, we're actually changing the types of receptors that are getting activated. You have different receptors that measure different types of tension, different types of activation, different types of sensation. There are types of receptors that are very, very inactive when you're moving quickly and very, very inactive when you're moving slow. So you want to have a broad variety of speed. Most people never actually go into super slow training. Okay? This is a fantastic tool not only for increasing brain function, but also for getting the most out of only having light weights available. I had an appointment this week with a client. All they had was a very light, tiny, cute little kettlebell. Don't worry, I can make it very challenging for you all the same. So imagine, say, I'm doing a kettlebell press. Okay? I can press a good size weight, I can get that up and down, and it's a struggle, and then I'm done. Okay? That would be a normal lifting tempo for most people, maybe a little slower, maybe a little faster, depending on the person and their anatomy. But what if they didn't have a heavy bell that was appropriate for the level of intensity they're trying to train at? Well, they could take a lighter bell, and they could go very slow. So what that might look like, I've got a 16-kilo bell here, 35-pound kettlebell. And what you can do is you can actually aim for a very slow kettlebell press. And by slow, I mean we're talking about 15 to 30 seconds on one way of that. So getting that up to overhead over the course of a very long duration of time. And as I get there, then I'm going to do the same thing on the way down to control it very, very slowly, very, very accurately, and looking for any sort of issues in my strength curve. One of the things that this really does a good job of is figuring out where you have inadequacies in your strength and movement pattern. So say I'm pressing and all of a sudden, oh wow, that's really heavy right there. Oh, now it's easy again. You might find certain spots in the range of motion where you don't have good motor control. So by training slower, you can find those areas out. And by training slower, you can get stronger in that area because you're now spending more time in that weak spot. So slowing down, finding those spots, finding where a certain movement pattern might have a compensation you weren't aware of because you moved too quickly through it normally, training super slow can give your brain a great deal of information and coordination challenge, and it can also help you suss out where you have weak links in your training. This, like I said, is something that can be applied to any movement model, be it dance, be it martial arts, be it anything else. Find a technique, find a movement pattern that you use, and try it really, really slow. I think you might be surprised at what you find. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm exhausted now after doing that because that was just one rep, but it really worked me over. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to get some food and take a nap. If you like this information, stick around, subscribe to this channel, share this video with somebody who needs to see it, and I will see you soon. Take care.